Anna.
I'm Kira.
And we're
Fantastical Costumery. Today we're talking about our Princess Serenity cosplay that we made for YomaCon last year.
Last year. That's weird to say. It was only a few months ago. And here it is, right here.
Sparkle, sparkle. This cosplay was actually a really fun challenge when it comes to the beading.
I had done Princess Serenity in the past, and I'd always wanted to redo it. For your first con, we were going to do Sailor Moon Princesses.
Because we were going to do the Sailor Moon and Sailor Venus Fukus during the day, and then at night there was a charity ball, so we ended up doing their princess versions.
And I decided to redo Princess Serenity. I probably thrown a picture of me when I did it last.
Oh my gosh.
I was super pregnant.
Throwback.
I kind of leaned more towards like her Neo Queen Serenity look, whereas this time I really wanted to go with how she was in the manga. And she still had gold detailing stuff in the manga, but I really like flowers in the hair and the beading and the really ethereal look. But I decided to do like a silver theme, color theme.
We used was it bridal satin?
Oh, I think I bought like 10 yards of white bridal satin from Fabric Wholesale Direct. And then
this overlay.
I'm not sure how much the overlay I bought, but it was the crystal organza from Fabric Wholesale Direct.
And then of course we just used a white taffeta lining.
Lining for the bodice.
The bow is an iridescent organza from Joann's.
Yes, that was a last minute choice to make it out of iridescent organza. We were at first going to make it out of the crystal organza. We were going to make it in pink like her in the anime. I decided, no, I don't really like how the pink's looking. Let's do something different. So we did iridescent. And it kind of ties in with the gemstones on the bodice.
For this cosplay, we used a pattern from Etsy by Cosplay by Merida. We can link her down below. And you had bought this pattern quite some time ago, but this was your first time making it. What did you think?
Yeah, I bought the pattern and the fabric quite some time ago, but I never got around to making it. The sewing was very simple. I know it wasn't easy for you to tape together and cut out because there's a lot of pieces. It took you days.
Her patterns are always huge, not in a bad way. They just have so many pieces.
Yeah, the sewing was actually very simple. The only thing like with the bodice, I sewed it together and everything and I put it on. It was a little bit too big for me. So I had to, take it in a little bit. And then I noticed, even though I interfaced it, it lacked like this really good structure. And I thought, well, if this is gonna be a strapless gown with all this beading, there's gotta be a way to hold it up. So I decided to go forth and put boning along the seams. And then we also went with the corset back instead of a zipper. So I had to take even more off the back to kind of create that really pretty laced up look. But what was really nice is it also made it more adjustable so that I could get it really snug on my body and that it would stay up and I wasn't going to have any wardrobe malfunctions at the con.
Yeah, very important for a strapless dress.
The skirt panels are pretty simple, straightforward to sew together. Although with the organza, we did have to go through and very lightly burn the edges to keep it from fraying. Because I had noticed working with this fabric before, if I just sewed it or if I just tried to use it, put it in my thin right serger, it would just kind of crumble apart at the end. So
yeah.
We did some research and we found that burning the edges melt it and then keep it from fraying.
It would have been ideal if we had a hot knife, but we didn't have that, so we ended up just kind of faking it with a candle, actually. Wait, don't try this at home, kids.
It worked really well. You just had to be really careful. We definitely set it on fire a couple of times.
Yeah, do it in a safe environment, preferably outdoors.
Oh, and that's where we had an accident. Don't play with fire, kids. The sleeves were your thing, really.
Yeah, I'd say the sleeves were the only part of this that we weren't entirely happy with. They were recommended to have quilted
design in it.
Yep, and when we started to make it, it just was not flattering. So we ended up kind of ditching what she originally has in the pattern and ended up going with our own thing, which we decided to go with these rosettes. We took the organza and kind of just hot glued it to a backing of the bridal satin with some stiffer interfacing to kind of hold it up. We made 3 rosettes, one front, middle, and back, and sewed it to an elastic band to go around your arm, and it ended up looking really pretty. It's not exactly like the source material is. It's not that puffy cloud or whatever she has, but it kind of gave that ethereal look that you wanted and you were happy with how it looked.
Well, and it kind of took a little inspiration from the dress in the Sailor Moon Museum as well. The way they did it, they also had rosettes and they had multiple ones going around the arm.
So we ended up going with that instead because of that and liking that a lot better.
And then for the hair, we bought a chibi Arta wig in large because I have a big head. We established this. 2 clip-in ponytails because I didn't have a lot of time to style a wig, and then I just kind of swirled the ponytails on the chibi up into a bun and pinned it in place. The buns were really big. It was this really big wig.
Yeah.
I might probably gonna change it in the future.
A little less oversized.
Less oversized, yes, because it was a lot of wig. Very heavy. Like in the manga, we created little hair clips with roses on them and white carnations to make, kind of try to recreate that look. And then for her moon on her head, I just made like a little, it was on a chain. It was silver filigree moon, and it was hooked up into
set
the
on a
clips.
chain with pearls on a chain. So for this bodice, there are, like I said, quite a few layers. First, we took a contrasting satin that was kind of a silvery gray color and made the circle trim at the top.
I zigzag stitched around
the border.
So that was a technique I used in my original Queen Serenity, but your machine was better. It was a lot easier. So satin stitched around the border on the outside and the inside, all the way around this long, it was like a long piece.
And then on top of that, we glued a string of rhinestones around the border of that as well to give it some extra sparkle. And then we filled in the satin with alternating AB rhinestones and flat back pearls.
And then we had these really pretty iridescent, giant, like big stones that we had bought originally for Belle, the Belle cosplay, for the necklace. And then we had a whole bunch extra. And so I'm like, these are really pretty. I love these. I'd like to incorporate them somehow. And so we kind of went back and forth. I'm like, oh, should we put them like in the middle and fill in that extra space of the circle trim? And eventually we decided, yes, we should do that.
Yeah. So, I think we put a poll up where we asked friends and everyone was like, no, don't do it. But we did it anyway.
I love sparkle.
Sparkles. And then underneath that trim, we put a row of pearls and then 3 rows of lace to kind of mimic what she has in the manga. And then there's sort of this loopy design of pearls, which we then kind of beefed up with alternating layers of pearls, gems, pearls, gems. Put more rhinestones around it, and then there's another layer of pearls at the bottom. All of the gems that we glued down were glued with E6000, and then the pearls themselves are a mixture of like, they were kind of glued but also hand stitched down. So you can almost pull up a picture of manga and see kind of each layer and what we did to kind of imitate it. It was definitely our own take on it. We went for more bling rather than less whenever the opportunity presented itself, but I think it turned out really pretty. She's sparkly and she's not light to wear for sure.
And then for the inside of the wings, so for the wings or slash bow, since it was the iridescent organza see-through, we had to figure out a way to stiffen the bow, but make it so that it still looked like,
so it was still see-through.
It was still see-through, yeah, right. And it was light enough to wear.
Well, we were inspired by this blog post who said she just used sheets of plastic, but we don't just have sheets of thin plastic lying around.
For the inside this time, we laminated, laminated a bunch of laminate sheets without anything inside them, and then cut it to the shape that we needed.
So we just kind of made like a semi-rigid plastic, and that's what we used in the inside of that. And it was okay, I would say. It did have enough structure in the main part of the bow, but in the center where it was a weaker pressure point, it was flimsy and it would kind of twist and flop.
Still feel like in the future we're gonna have to add more structure to it to get it to stand up straight, but
it was a fun technique and I wasn't mad about it.
And then for shoes for this cosplay, I originally was gonna wear my silver shoes that I wore with Belle, but my feet were hurting so bad, so I think I just wore the shoes for judging the cosplay contest.
You put them on like literally right before we walk in the door. Petered in there. I'm so pretty. Peter back out and put your tennis shoes back on.
Back to my sneakers. I wore my sneakers under it all day and it was fine because the dress is so long you couldn't really see them.
Yeah. It is kind of funny though. Yes, you could not see the tennis shoes because the skirt is so long, but we had hemmed it 4 heels, so you had to kind of pull it up to walk around so you could just see our big chunky feelers sticking out.
I was like a bride, like one of those brides, like the big dress, but then their sneakers sticking out.
And we won a award for this cosplay.
Cosplay as well. We entered this one with Princess Venus as well, so we entered as a group for this one.
Yes, we were a duo.
We got an honorable mention
in the novice category, and this was at YomaCon 2022.
This was the first time that we'd ever done a cosplay contest, so that's why we were in the novice category.
Yes. And it was really fun. I want to do more. The changes you make for next time
would be tweaking the wig and creating a little more structure for the wings / bow.
And how long would you say we probably spent on this? 40 hours?
A long time. This was the first one we started making, I think. I feel like it took you a week to get it all cut out. And then sewing it together wasn't so bad. We had to do it in stages because we beaded the bodice before we sewed it to the skirt.
Partially. Wasn't fully beaded.
It took a long time. We were working on this one for
a good 3 weeks. I mean, it took me 4 hours alone to cut out the pattern and all the fabric. If that gives you an idea how long this took. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy our cosplay or our video, please be sure to give us a like or subscribe, and we hope to see you again soon. I'm Kira.
And I'm Serena.
And we are
Fantastical Costumery.
Bye.
for cosplays.
Cosplay.
Cosplays. To read. Yep.
Okay, so for this cosplay. Okay, so for this, we got the giggles. Oh no! Very short day. For this cup,
So much like a wedding dress. Maybe I should wear it to Sugar's concert.
putting that in there.